5 ways to handle people who don't respect you. Buddhist wisdom. Let's face it, disrespect is something we all encounter at some point in our lives. Whether it's a family member who constantly interrupts you, a colleague who dismisses your ideas, or a friend who makes passive-aggressive comments, dealing with people who don't respect you can be exhausting. And as we grow older, especially after 60, we realize that our time and energy are precious. We don't have the luxury of wasting it on people who drain us or make us feel small. But here's the good news. You don't have to tolerate disrespect. In fact, you can handle it with grace, wisdom, and strength. Today, we're diving into 5 powerful ways to deal with people who don't respect you, inspired by both Stoic philosophy and Buddhist wisdom. These strategies will help you reclaim your peace, protect your energy, and stand tall in your self-worth. So buckle up. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to show people exactly where the line is drawn, without losing your cool or sacrificing your self-respect. Let's dive in. 1. Embrace the silent stare. Let's start with a technique that's as simple as it is profound: the silent stare. At first glance, you might think, really? Just staring? But trust me, this isn't just about looking at someone. It's about reclaiming your power, your peace, and your dignity. The silent stare is a quiet yet potent tool, rooted in both Stoic philosophy and Buddhist wisdom, that can transform how you handle disrespect. Here's why it works so beautifully. People who disrespect others are often seeking a reaction. They want you to stammer, to get flustered, or even to snap back. They thrive on drama, on chaos, on the energy they can siphon from your emotional response. But when you respond with a calm, unbothered stare, you flip the script entirely. Suddenly, the power dynamic shifts. You're no longer playing their game. You're rewriting the rules. The silent stare isn't about being passive-aggressive or cold. It's about reclaiming your space, your peace, and your self-respect. It's a non-verbal way of saying, I see you, but I'm not playing this game with you. And sometimes that silence speaks louder than any words ever could. It's a quiet declaration that their negativity doesn't have a place in your world. The Buddha once said, "You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger." This teaching is a gentle reminder that reacting impulsively to disrespect only fuels the fire. Anger, frustration, or defensiveness might feel justified in the moment, but they often leave us feeling drained and disconnected from our inner peace. The silent stare, on the other hand, allows you to respond with calmness and clarity. It's a way of showing that their negativity doesn't affect you. Not because you're indifferent, but because you've chosen to rise above it. Imagine this. You're in a conversation, and someone interrupts you with a dismissive comment or a rude remark. Instead of reacting, you pause. You take a deep breath and you look them directly in the eye. You don't blink, you don't flinch, you don't say a word. You simply hold their gaze, letting the silence fill the space between you. In that moment, something powerful happens. The person who was trying to provoke you suddenly feels the weight of their own behavior. They're left alone with their actions, and it's uncomfortable for them. How to use the silent stare. Pause and breathe. When someone interrupts you or makes a disrespectful comment, take a moment to pause. This isn't about hesitation, it's about grounding yourself. A deep breath can help you center your emotions and approach the situation with clarity. Look them in the eye. Direct eye contact is key. Look at them calmly, without blinking or reacting. This isn't about intimidation, it's about presence. You're showing them that you're fully present and unshaken by their behavior. Hold the stare. Let the silence speak for itself. Hold their gaze for a few seconds, allowing the tension to build. This isn't about creating conflict, it's about creating awareness. You're giving them a mirror to see their own actions, and often, that's enough to make them rethink their behavior. This technique isn't just about stopping their behavior in the moment, it's about reminding yourself that you don't owe anyone an emotional reaction. You're grounded, unbothered, and in control. It's a way of saying, I respect myself too much to get dragged into your negativity. The silent stare is more than just a tactic. It's a practice in mindfulness and self-awareness. In Buddhism, mindfulness is about being fully present in the moment, observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. When you use the silent stare, you're embodying this principle. You're observing the situation without getting caught up in the drama. You're choosing to respond rather than react. Think of it like this. When someone throws a stone into a calm lake, the water doesn't fight back. It simply absorbs the impact and returns to stillness. The silent stare is your way of being that calm lake. You're not resisting the negativity. You're allowing it to pass through you without disturbing your peace. I remember a time when I was in a group meeting, and one person kept interrupting me, talking over me as if my words didn't matter. At first, I felt the familiar rush of frustration and the urge to defend myself. But then, I remembered the power of the silent stare. Instead of reacting, I leaned back in my chair, crossed my arms, and simply looked at him. I held his gaze for what felt like an eternity, but in reality, it was only a few seconds. The room grew quiet. Everyone noticed. And you know what happened? He stumbled over his words, looked away, and didn't interrupt me again for the rest of the meeting. That silent stare did more than any words could have. It wasn't just about stopping his behavior. It was about reclaiming my space and my voice. As we grow older, especially after 60, we begin to realize that our time and energy are precious. We don't have the luxury of wasting it on people who drain us or make us feel small. The silent stare is a way of protecting that energy. It's a reminder that you don't have to engage with every bit of negativity that comes your way. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. So the next time someone disrespects you, try the silent stare. Look them in the eye, hold your ground, and let the silence speak for itself. You'll be surprised at how uncomfortable it makes them, and how empowered it makes you feel. Remember, as the Buddha taught, peace comes from within, do not seek it without. The silent stare is your way of finding that peace, even in the face of disrespect. It's a quiet but powerful declaration that you are grounded, unbothered, and in control. And that, my friends, is a message worth sending. Embrace silence as your answer. Here's another underrated secret weapon, one that's as ancient as it is powerful. Silence. When someone disrespects you, one of the most profound responses you can offer is no response at all. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Silence feels passive, like I'm letting them get away with it. But here's the truth. Silence is far from passive. It's a deliberate choice, and sometimes it's the boldest, loudest answer you can give. When someone hurls negativity your way, they're often looking to pull you into their drama. They want you to react, to engage, to give them the satisfaction of knowing they've gotten under your skin. But when you don't engage, when you let their words hang in the air like a heavy fog, it forces them to sit alone with their own behavior. And that silence, it's deafening. It's a mirror reflecting their actions back at them. And often, it's more uncomfortable for them than any argument could ever be. The Buddha once taught, peace comes from within, do not seek it without. This timeless wisdom reminds us that true peace isn't found in reacting to the chaos around us. It's found in staying centered and calm, no matter what storms may rage outside. Silence, in this sense, is a form of inner peace made visible. It's a way of saying, I am rooted in my own calm, and your negativity cannot shake me. Silence is a powerful tool because it disrupts the cycle of conflict. When someone disrespects you, they're often expecting a reaction, a fight, a justification, or even a defensive explanation. But when you respond with silence, you deny them that satisfaction. You're not ignoring them, you're simply refusing to give them the energy they crave. Think of it like this. When you throw a pebble into a calm pond, it creates ripples. But if the pond is already still, the ripples fade quickly and the water returns to its natural state. Silence is your way of being that calm pond. You're not resisting the negativity, you're allowing it to pass through you without disturbing your peace. How to use silence? Pause and breathe. When someone makes a disrespectful comment, the first step is to pause. Take a deep breath, grounding yourself in the present moment. This isn't about hesitation, it's about creating space between their words and your response. Look them in the eye. If the situation allows, make gentle eye contact. This isn't about intimidation, it's about presence. You're showing them that you're fully aware of what they've said, but you're choosing not to engage. Say nothing, let the silence speak for itself. Hold that space for a few seconds, allowing the weight of their words to settle. Often, this is enough to make them rethink their behavior. This isn't about ignoring them or pretending their words don't matter. It's about refusing to give them the power to disrupt your peace. By choosing silence, you're saying, I value my peace over your opinion of me. And that's a message worth sending. There's a beautiful story about a monk who was once insulted by a villager. The villager hurled harsh words at the monk, trying to provoke a reaction. But the monk simply stood there, calm and unmoved. Finally, the villager grew frustrated and demanded, "Why aren't you responding?" The monk smiled gently and said, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" This story illustrates the power of silence. When someone disrespects you, their words are like a gift they're trying to hand you. But if you don't accept it, if you don't react or engage, the gift remains with them. Silence is your way of refusing to accept their negativity. Silence is more than just a tactic. It's a practice in mindfulness and self-awareness. In Buddhism, mindfulness is about being fully present in the moment, observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. When you respond to disrespect with silence, you're embodying this principle. You're observing the situation without getting caught up in the drama. You're choosing to respond rather than react. Think of it like this. When someone throws a stone into a calm lake, the water doesn't fight back. It simply absorbs the impact and returns to stillness. Silence is your way of being that calm lake. You're not resisting the negativity. You're allowing it to pass through you without disturbing your peace. I remember a time when I was at a family gathering and a relative made a snide comment about a decision I'd made. At first, I felt the familiar rush of anger and the urge to defend myself. But then I remembered the power of silence. Instead of reacting, I simply looked at them, took a deep breath, and said nothing. The room grew quiet. Everyone noticed. And you know what happened? My relative stumbled over their words, clearly uncomfortable, and quickly changed the subject. That silence did more than any argument could have. It wasn't just about stopping their behavior. It was about reclaiming my peace and my dignity. As we grow older, especially after 60, we begin to realize that our time and energy are precious. We don't have the luxury of wasting it on people who drain us or make us feel small. Silence is a way of protecting that energy. It's a reminder that you don't have to engage with every bit of negativity that comes your way. Sometimes, the most powerful response is no response at all. So the next time someone disrespects you, try embracing silence. Pause, take a deep breath, and let their words hang in the air. You'll be surprised at how uncomfortable it makes them, and how empowered it makes you feel. Remember, as the Buddha taught, peace comes from within, do not seek it without. Silence is your way of finding that peace, even in the face of disrespect. It's a quiet but powerful declaration that you are grounded, unbothered, and in control. And that, my friends, is a message worth sending. 3. Stop explaining your choices. Here's a hard truth, one that might feel uncomfortable but is deeply liberating once you embrace it. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your choices. Whether it's your career, your relationships, or how you spend your time, your decisions are your own. They belong to you and you alone. But here's the thing, people often feel entitled to an explanation. They'll ask, why did you do that? Why didn't you go to that event? Why did you take that job? On the surface, these questions might seem harmless, even curious. But more often than not, they're loaded with judgment, hidden expectations, or even a subtle desire to control. The Buddha once said, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." This teaching is a gentle yet powerful reminder that your worth isn't determined by others' approval. You don't need to justify your choices to anyone. Your life is your own, and the only validation you need comes from within. Let's be honest, we've all been there. Someone questions our choices, and suddenly we feel the urge to explain, to defend, to prove ourselves. It's as if we're on trial, and their approval is the verdict. But here's the truth. When you explain yourself, you're giving away your power. You're handing them the keys to your self-worth. And that's a dangerous game to play. Think about it. When someone questions your choices, what are they really asking? Often it's not about understanding you. It's about fitting you into their own expectations, their own comfort zone. Maybe your decision challenges their worldview, or maybe it makes them question their own choices. Either way, Their curiosity is rarely about you. It's about them. How to stop explaining yourself. Keep your response simple. When someone questions your choices, resist the urge to over-explain. Instead, keep your response short and sweet. Say something like, "Because it felt right for me," or "That's what I chose to do." These phrases are simple, but they carry a quiet strength. They're a way of saying, "I trust myself and that's enough." Smile and change the subject. If they push for more, don't feel obligated to engage. Smile politely and steer the conversation in a different direction. You're not being rude, you're simply setting a boundary. Remember, your life doesn't need an audience. Vote. At the end of the day, your choices are yours alone. They don't need to be analyzed, approved, or validated by anyone else. You're not running for office, you're living your life. There's a beautiful story about a monk who was once asked why he chose to live a simple life, away from the comforts of the world. The monk smiled and said, "If you saw a bird flying freely in the sky, would you ask it why it doesn't walk on the ground?" This story is a powerful reminder that your choices don't need to make sense to anyone else. They're yours, and they're valid, simply because you've made them. Stopping the habit of over-explaining is more than just a practical tip. It's a spiritual practice. In Buddhism, there's a concept called right speech, which encourages us to speak truthfully, kindly, and only when necessary. When you stop explaining yourself, you're embodying this principle. You're choosing to speak only when it serves you, and you're refusing to waste your energy on unnecessary justifications. Think of it like this. When you explain yourself, you're pouring your energy into someone else's cup. But when you stop explaining, you're keeping that energy for yourself. You're filling your own cup, and that's where your power lies. I remember a time when I decided to leave a stable job to pursue a passion project. The moment I shared my decision, the questions started pouring in. Why would you leave a secure job? How are you going to make it work? What if it doesn't work out? At first, I felt the need to explain myself, to justify my choice. But the more I explained, the more drained I felt. Then one day, I decided to try something different. When someone asked, "Why did you leave your job?" I simply said, "Because it felt right for me." That was it. No long explanations, no justifications. Just a simple, honest answer. And you know what? It felt amazing. The silence that followed was everything. People didn't know how to respond, and eventually they stopped asking. That simple phrase, "because it felt right for me," wasn't just a response. It was a declaration of self-trust. As we grow older, especially after 60, we begin to realize that our time and energy are precious. We don't have the luxury of wasting it on people who drain us or make us feel small. Stopping the habit of over-explaining is a way of protecting that energy. It's a reminder that you don't owe anyone an explanation for how you live your life. So, the next time someone questions your choices, try keeping your response simple. Say, "Because it felt right for me," and let the silence speak for itself. You'll be surprised at how empowering it feels. Remember, as the Buddha taught, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Your choices are valid simply because you've made them. You don't need anyone else's approval to live your truth. And that, my friends, is a message worth sending. 4. Keep your distance. Sometimes the healthiest and most compassionate way to handle disrespect is to simply keep your distance. This doesn't mean you hate the person or that you're being dramatic. It means you respect yourself enough to protect your energy, your peace, and your well-being. It's an act of self-love, not an act of rejection. Think of your life as a sacred space, a sanctuary where only those who bring light and positivity are welcome. Not everyone gets a VIP pass to this space. If someone is consistently disrespectful, dismissive, or toxic, why would you keep them close? Why would you allow them to drain your energy or dim your light? The Buddha once said, "Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned." This teaching is a profound reminder that staying close to toxic people only harms you in the long run. When you allow disrespectful individuals to remain in your life, you're essentially holding on to that hot coal, letting it sear your hands and your heart. But when you choose to keep your distance, you're not just protecting yourself, you're also creating space for healing, growth, and peace. You're letting go of the coal, allowing the burns to heal, and stepping into a brighter, more harmonious way of living. Let's be honest, it's not easy to distance yourself from people, especially if they're family, longtime friends, or colleagues. There's often a sense of obligation, guilt, or fear of judgment. But here's the truth. You are not responsible for fixing anyone else's behavior, nor are you obligated to endure their negativity. Disrespectful people often thrive on chaos and control. They may not even realize the harm they're causing, but that doesn't make it any less damaging. By keeping your distance, you're not punishing them. You're simply choosing to prioritize your own well-being. How to keep your distance. Limit your time with toxic people. If someone consistently disrespects you, start by reducing the amount of time you spend with them. This doesn't have to be a dramatic exit. It can be as simple as declining invitations, setting time limits on conversations, or creating physical distance. Set clear boundaries and stick to them. Boundaries are not walls. They're bridges to healthier relationships. Let the person know what behavior is unacceptable and be firm in enforcing those boundaries. For example, if someone constantly interrupts you, you might say, "I value our conversations, but I need you to let me finish speaking." Focus on relationships that uplift you. Surround yourself with people who respect, support, and inspire you. These are the relationships that nourish your soul and help you grow. When you invest your energy in positive connections, you'll find that the toxic ones naturally fade into the background. There's a beautiful story about a monk who was once approached by a villager hurling insults. The monk listened quietly, then smiled and said, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The villager, confused, replied, "It belongs to the person who offered it." The monk nodded and said, "Then I choose not to accept your anger." This story is a powerful reminder that you don't have to accept the negativity others try to give you. By keeping your distance, you're essentially saying, "I choose not to accept your disrespect." Keeping your distance is more than just a practical strategy. It's a spiritual practice. In Buddhism, there's a concept called right effort, which involves cultivating positive states of mind and letting go of negative ones. When you distance yourself from toxic people, you're practicing right effort. You're choosing to let go of negativity and create space for peace, joy, and growth. Think of it like this. Your energy is like a garden. If you allow weeds to grow unchecked, they'll choke out the flowers. But if you tend to your garden carefully, removing the weeds and nurturing the plants, you'll create a space of beauty and abundance. Keeping your distance is your way of tending to your inner garden. I once had a friend who was constantly critical and dismissive. At first, I tried to brush it off, thinking, that's just how they are. But over time, their negativity started to weigh on me. I found myself dreading our interactions, feeling drained and frustrated after every conversation. One day, I decided to try something different. Instead of making excuses for their behavior, I started limiting my time with them. I stopped initiating plans and began focusing on relationships that brought me joy and support. At first, it felt uncomfortable, even selfish. But over time, I noticed a shift. I felt lighter, freer, and more at peace. That distance gave me the clarity to see that I deserved better. It wasn't about blaming or resenting my friend. It was about honoring my own worth and protecting my energy. As we grow older, especially after 60, we begin to realize that our time and energy are precious. We don't have the luxury of wasting them on people who drain us or make us feel small. Keeping your distance is a way of protecting that energy. It's a reminder that you are worthy of respect, kindness, and peace. So the next time someone disrespects you, consider creating some distance. It doesn't have to be dramatic or confrontational. It can be as simple as stepping back and focusing on the relationships that uplift you. Remember, as the Buddha taught, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. And by keeping your distance, you're honoring that truth. Life is too short to spend it surrounded by negativity. By keeping your distance from disrespectful people, you're not just protecting yourself, you're creating space for joy, growth, and connection. You're saying, I deserve better. And that, my friends, is a message worth living. 5. Hold your head high. Finally, let's talk about an old-school classic that never goes out of style: holding your head high. When someone disrespects you, they're banking on making you feel small. They want you to doubt yourself, to lower your eyes, to shrink into the background. But when you stand tall and hold your head high, you're saying, "I know exactly who I am, and nothing you say or do will make me feel less." This isn't just about physical posture. It's about mental posture too. It's about embodying a deep, unshakable sense of self-worth. It's about walking through life as if you already know your value, because you do. And here's the thing: when you hold your head high, you become untouchable. The Buddha once said, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." This teaching is a gentle yet profound reminder that your self-worth isn't determined by others' opinions. It's not something you earn or prove. It's something you claim for yourself. When you hold your head high, you're embodying this truth. You're declaring, "I am enough, just as I am." Confidence is magnetic, and it's also disarming. People who thrive on disrespect often rely on the idea that their words or actions have the power to influence you, to control you in some way. But when you refuse to let their disrespect touch you, when you literally stand taller and hold your head up high, you're showing them that they don't have that power. You're unbreakable, and people who thrive on negativity don't know what to do with that. Think of it like this: when you hold your head high, you're like a mountain. No matter how hard the wind blows or how heavy the rain falls, the mountain remains steadfast. It doesn't crumble. It doesn't shrink. It simply stands tall, rooted in its own strength. That's the energy you're projecting when you hold your head high. How to hold your head high? Stand tall, shoulders back. Your physical posture has a direct impact on your mental state. When you stand tall with your shoulders back and your chest open, you're signaling to your brain that you're confident and in control. This isn't about puffing yourself up. It's about embodying your own strength. Look people in the eye. Eye contact is powerful. It's a way of saying, "I see you, and I'm not afraid of you." When someone disrespects you, look them in the eye with calm, steady confidence. You don't have to glare or intimidate. Just hold their gaze for a moment, letting them know you're fully present and unshaken. Smile and carry on. A smile can be one of the most disarming tools in your arsenal. When someone tries to bring you down, smile. Not because you're happy about their behavior, but because you're refusing to let it affect you. Then carry on with your day as if nothing happened. This isn't about ignoring the disrespect. It's about rising above it. There's a beautiful story about a monk who was once insulted by a traveler. The traveler hurled harsh words at the monk, trying to provoke a reaction. But the monk simply stood there, calm and unmoved. Finally, the traveler grew frustrated and demanded, "Why aren't you responding?" The monk smiled gently and said, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" This story is a powerful reminder that you don't have to accept the negativity others try to give you. When you hold your head high, you're essentially saying, "I choose not to accept your disrespect." Holding your head high is more than just a physical act. It's a spiritual practice. In Buddhism, there's a concept called right mindfulness, which involves being fully present in the moment and aware of your thoughts and emotions without judgment. When you hold your head high, you're practicing right mindfulness. You're choosing to stay present, to stay grounded, and to stay connected to your own worth. Think of it like this: your self-worth is like a flame. When you hold your head high, you're protecting that flame from the winds of negativity. You're keeping it burning bright, no matter what storms may come your way. I remember a time when I was at a social gathering and someone made a snide comment about a decision I'd made. At first, I felt the familiar rush of anger and the urge to defend myself. But then I remembered the power of holding my head high. Instead of reacting, I stood tall, looked them in the eye, and smiled. The room grew quiet. Everyone noticed. And you know what happened? The person who made the comment stumbled over their words, clearly uncomfortable, and quickly changed the subject. That simple act of holding my head high did more than any argument could have. It wasn't just about stopping their behavior. It was about reclaiming my space and my dignity. As we grow older, especially after 60, we begin to realize that our time and energy are precious. We don't have the luxury of wasting them on people who drain us or make us feel small. Holding your head high is a way of protecting that energy. It's a reminder that you are worthy of respect, kindness, and peace. So, the next time someone disrespects you, try holding your head high. Stand tall, look them in the eye, and smile. You'll be surprised at how uncomfortable it makes them, and how empowered it makes you feel. Remember, as the Buddha taught, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Holding your head high is your way of embodying that truth. It's a quiet but powerful declaration that you are grounded, unbothered, and in control. And that, my friends, is a message worth sending. Life is too short to spend it shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. By holding your head high, you're not just standing tall. You're standing in your truth. You're saying, I am enough, just as I am. And that, my friends, is a message worth living. Life is too short to spend it bending over backward for people who don't see your value. Remember, you don't need anyone's permission to stand tall. Protect your peace and live life on your terms. As the Buddha taught, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. By focusing on your self-respect and inner peace, you'll naturally attract people who uplift and support you. So, hold your head high, embrace the silence when it serves you, and never apologize for walking away from what doesn't serve you. Thanks for watching. If this video resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs a reminder to stand tall. Drop a comment below if you've got a story about handling disrespect or setting boundaries. I'd love to hear it. Until next time, take care, stay strong, and remember, respect starts with you.